Welcome, welcome. Currently trying to fix the screen so I can have it up. That would be nice. Did everything disappear? Sure looks like it. Let's see if this works. The old unplug and plug it back in trick. Computer's never going to see it coming. Well, it worked. All right. If that didn't work, we were going to have problems. Anything new come out today? Got all this stuff already. Sitting on 150 packs. Not touching those. Still haven't been on my phone to open them. What's up, ASG? Happy Wednesday. What you got going on? We are attempting. Oh, Josh Gibson in center field. That's bold. We are going to attempt to make a Mike Trout debut today. See how that goes. First, I want a team of players that I don't use in ranked. Mauer's good. Prince Fielder, I'm not very good with. Although, let's see. Jason Kipnis, yeah, we'll use him. Aparicio, we'll keep using him because he's a beast. New year for my tribe, so Happy New Year. Oh, Happy New Year. Which tribe? Edgar Martinez. Oh, let's play the Alex Gordon. Should I play him in the outfield, though? Let me see who else is going to be out here first. Wainwright's a DH. But I have Arrieta as well. And Wainwright can actually play the outfield. So he'll be out there. Kadire can also play infield. I think Griffey's going to lose his job once I get Trout. Also, I just got this Eric Davis card, finally. I might play him in left field. I've been waiting for this card. Maybe put Kadire at third. Oh, the Jews. There you go. Happy New Year. In my head, I was like, are we talking like part Native American that we just never discussed before? Well, that makes more sense. there's like random people though that like they're just like 1/8 Native American or something, and you'll never like pick it up. So I was like, oh, definitely possible. Why not? Yo, what's up, Nycopad? Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, sir. And Happy New Year. What's up, Chris? Got nervous. My voice sounds like a robot. Hi, Chris. I'm new to the gym. That's funny. Reggie Sanders did good in one game that I used him. Question is, who do I put in center? Because I don't think that Alex Gordon plays center. But let me see what happens when we put him out there. I also need homers with primary outfielders. This actually works. So I just put him in center field. Oh, he actually doesn't play center. We could put Eric Davis in center field, but like, it's not going to be good. If it was Rosh Hashanah from a coworker or something, if I had been in the office today, I probably would have. Although our office is pretty small. I'm trying to think if there's any Jewish coworkers. I don't think there are. On an average day, like if I had been in the office today, there'd be like 7 people in the office probably. Talking to girls, ew. NyQuil said, no cooties for me, please and thank you. Delgado, and I want, where's that Solaire card? I want to throw him on the bench. There we go. Took off yesterday for it. Nice. Did you guys do anything? Any celebration? Or just chilling? See which of these cards I was good with. 844, 450 for Clemens, but I only use them for like one start. Cliff Lee, I think, was good. Cliff Lee and Corey Kluber, apparently. Kershaw was bad. Okay. That should be good. Bullpen. Let's see, Dibble was good. Chapman was like okay, but he couldn't locate anything. Let's see what his ERA ended up being. 360. I just saw that Cooties movie. It was something. Didn't do anything for it. I hurt my back, neck, sleeping wrong, so I took an edible for the pain, which meant I couldn't drive to visit mom. Oh, that sucks. Hopefully it's feeling better right now, but yeah, that's not a fun way to spend the day off. I think Bautista, he did poorly, but I feel like he was good. One of those guys. Duran was the worst. Played a little bit of Moonshot. This lineup is kind of the way that I would want it. Cool. Cool and good. Wayno's get a bad third for me. All right, let's do it. Do you feel better today? The edible worked, so it wasn't terrible. Okay, good, good. What you up to, NyQuil? How are the Yankees doing? They walked off the White Sox yesterday. And I think they're trying to cling on to the top wild card. Is that right? Looks like they're good to go for the top wild card spot. And one game back of the Blue Jays. So they still have a chance at first place here, huh? The White Sox are trying to play spoilers. In the absence of any silly remarks that come to mind that play off of your username, I'll just say hello for now. Oh, no. What's wrong, Greg? Do we need to call somebody? Sitting in the 2K neighborhood. Love it. You're trying to find a game, a match, or are you just like chilling? That was always my issue when playing like Park and stuff, or even Rec. That it was so hard to like time everybody up and make sure nobody like got glitched out of a park and stuff, and you're just sitting around. I heard it's much better though. Just sitting. Nice, nice. Are you enjoying the game so far? So little MLB that's the first time I noticed that diamond animation. Yeah, I feel like I still see new stuff all the time. The Run It Back mini season gives tons of stubs. Nice. Are there Home Run Derby X cards in that mini season? Or like moonshot cards or something? What's wrong? Yeah, I'll tell you what's wrong. Never been a 2K guy till this year. I'm really enjoying it. Nice. I feel like I pick it up every one. Oh my god. Louis Aparicio's so good. It's crazy. I want to use him in my rank squad. We've had some good moments with Louis Aparicio in like previous years. With his regular cards, with his like 50 power or whatever, still hitting home runs, maybe 70 power cards. But now he's got his moonshot card and he's actually crazy. Yeah, I see. I feel like I get 2K every like 3-4 years or something. If the pattern holds, I'll probably get it next year. I got it last year, played it for 2 days. But I think I got it for free by October or something. Or no, wait, it was this year. October would be when it comes out. Ish. It was earlier this year at some point. Played for like 2 days. Wainwright, good swing, but was a dot. Only Home Run Derby X card I was actively interested in is not a pitcher primary. Went straight to 0 interest. Icy. That's fair. But now that some of these cards are in the game, kind of late in the year, right? I wonder if that means they'll get some cool programs in the off season this year. Because I do think that dropping, we were talking about this last week. I felt like there was at least one more surprise left, and with the new Legends coming out, I don't know if that'll be the whole thing, but you know, the fact that they didn't have cards up until now maybe means we will get a good Wainwright before the end of the year. Last week of August this year. Jason Kipnis the other way. But yeah, 2K can be fun. There's always some changes in the meta of how to play the game from year to year. Depending on like how you want to grind it / spend money to level up your player, etc. Good swing. Rest of the game cycle, yeah. I think there's a good chance we get another Wainwright though, right? There's a lot of these guys like Nick Swisher, like a lot of these hitters, probably not, because they barely even deserve a 99. But I think there's guys like Wainwright now that he's in the game. I feel like we got to get like some kind of like postseason Wainwright or something before the end of the year. Postseason pass program on Friday. That'll be exciting. You'll see some cool cards in there for sure. I feel like the only thing keeping some of these cards from being endgame cards, and some of them are endgame cards, some of them are a little light on vision, it looks like. But we're starting to get the 100 vision cards as well. Curious to see if any of them will be back in 26. Yeah, good point. I wonder how that all works. I also wonder if like the roster of Home Run Derby X was unknown for a while. Like I would imagine that they didn't even know who was going to be participating in it at the start of the MLB season. So I wonder if they had even like planned to be doing any of this. What was that? I'm sure they had like Home Run Derby X on the schedule and expected to be doing something, but I'm guessing at the beginning of the year they probably didn't know who was going to be in it. It's also kind of interesting that none of them. Well, there's guys like Klesko, right? Was Klesko in the game last year or was it the previous year? I feel like a few of them like very recently retired. A few of them were like in the game and then left very quickly. So I wonder if that played a factor into some of that as well. Don't think they remembered it was a thing till last week. That's possible. It's very possible. Over the head. I feel like I made some pretty good swings in this game. 99 Dibble isn't in the game yet. Could he get a postseason pass card? I have no idea what he's done in the postseason, but for sure, that seems like someone who could get one. As long as the stats hold up for him. Is that all we're getting, by the way, for like flashbacks at this point? Just future or like past postseason? I guess we could get past finest cards too, right? Because we only have a few in the game right now. We were talking about that last week. Chris Taylor's getting a postseason pass card. That would be awesome. We got the Daniel Murphy. Well, we got his, like, I think there was a moment for it, right? One of the moments that we had to do. Talked about his 6 home runs in a row in the postseason. But it's just interesting because, like, the home run derby X card kind of feels like that's what it would be. But now that he's in the game, it would be cool for him to get a postseason pass card. But maybe that's kind of like the point there, where if they didn't know that he was going to be in the game until, like, you know, maybe a couple months ago, however long it took to get the participation list, maybe they had kind of already figured out who was going to be in the program, and then, you know, he's kind of a later addition. 1990 NLCS MVP. Oh, wow. Very good odds in that case. When does it drop? I believe Friday. Is that what Chris was saying? I haven't really been following. Just kind of show up. I do tend to watch the Friday streams, so I keep up that way, but like I haven't been on Twitter in like a month. Because that's where I was getting all my info from before. Chris says Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern time. Only been in postseason once. Pitched 7 games, 9.2 innings, 14 Ks, no runs. Just going to be past cards. Oh, I see. Like cards that we've already had before. Like a George Springer postseason card or something. We shall see. 102 dot. I believe this Aroldis Chapman card is 0 walks per 9, or maybe 1 walk per 9. Seven. I have a +1 parallel boost. So it looks like the natural on this is 6. Kind of crazy. 2 cards they showed are Garrett Hampson from the Division Series and Chris Taylor from the Wildcard game in 21. Interesting. Got to be getting a Kike Hernandez, right? Probably could have made that play if I reacted better. And there you go. Chi-chis. Today I learned that the Moonshot event program missions are still on. I've hit home runs in events today. They've counted towards it. Nice. Colin Max Scherzer from the 22 Wildcard series. I feel like we would have seen him in Moonshot already. But that would be cool. Oh, making our way downtown. This one goes until October 3rd. I forgot to put Clemente in here because I actually really like Clemente cards, but I don't have the 99 Clemente yet. And I haven't really looked at what I need to do for his program. I'm really just trying to get Mike Trout today. Idaho Mike, what's going on? Common Brad Lidge postseason from Pujols. That would be nice. How about a nice little Pujols too? Good day to ya. Happy Wednesday. There's a change up right down the middle. I don't think this pitcher is very good. I mean, they're all common, so like nobody's really good, but sometimes you can find nice little pitch mixes and whatnot. 33 launch angle on 103. That ball's gone. He can hit it to anywhere, apparently. Common playoff Kershaw. That was the first thing I thought. I was trying to look at the moonshot cards. So I don't know if you saw that, ASG, but they have moonshot cards that came out in the last month, and they are like common versions of these, some of the best pitchers. I'm sure you've seen a couple of them that I have in my bullpen here already. But one of them is the Kershaw, and I was like trying to look at the card really closely to see if like if it was like a monthly series or a Tops Now where it's like, oh, they did this thing on this day. So I was trying to see like, was this a postseason Kershaw card? But they didn't make any note of it. They're just like, here's a moonshot, just for fun. Pujols or home run ball never landed. Just saying. Literally into orbit. Just missed that ball. Common Pedro post, a little leaving him in. Was that the Yankees are my daddy day? Or whatever he said? Oh, the 3 Yankees. I was disappointed there was no moonshot. Cardinals McGuire. Oh yeah, his 99 right now is in athletics, right? There were a few guys like that. Well, first of all, if you have a Royals team build, the Royals got some cards for Home Run Derby X. I think they got at least 3. Kane, Moustakas, Hosmer. I feel like there was one more, actually. I don't remember. Was there Salvador Perez? But yeah, there were a few guys that are like Tim Raines, Aparicio, a couple guys that could have been on a White Sox team. Kind of a bummer. They didn't give them White Sox cards. And so it's been like in the past 2 months, I think the Savali card is the only Sox that we've gotten. Kind of a bummer. Brett Bleepin' Boone. Oh, that was that day. That was the day he interviewed for manager position. He said 20 years later, that's going to be our guy. I just want this Trout card. Yeah, I think Griffey's going to be the odd man out because David Justice is doing too well. I might even mess around with some other guys like Clemente and just DH. Horrible jump from Kipnis. I might DH Justice because he's been that good. Put Clemente in right field. I've got that Roman Anthony card who I think is endgame for me just because of how good his first card was for me. And yeah, Trout will take center field. Now, that's all contingent on Trout actually being good for me. Well, where's he going? I've never seen that before. It's a force at second, so there's absolutely no reason to go back to first. I don't know if he just bumped R1, lost connection with opponent. All right. If Boone didn't hurt himself the following offseason, we would never have gotten A-Rod. Oh, really? Funny how that works out. I was just thinking of, I don't know how similar this is, but started watching a video about Anthony Bennett, the #1 pick for the Cavs in 2013, who eventually became part of the package that sent Kevin Love to Cleveland. So I was like, I wonder if he was so bad that it turned into a better player in Kevin Love, and that if they never drafted Anthony Bennett, would they have ever won the championship? I assume Kevin Love was on the team. I don't remember at this point. When did they win? Like 2016, 2017? Yeah, I think Kevin Love had to be on that team. Would LeBron and Kyrie have won without Kevin Love? Let me make sure, first of all, he was on that team. Cavs championship roster. Kevin Love, Tristan Thompson, J.R. Smith, Iman Shumpert. They won in 2016. So yeah, definitely if Kevin Love came in 2014. There's Trout leading off. Got away with that pitch. Playing against the Spoodermans. I feel like Hosmer could be a good card. Seemed like he has a nice swing. Hard hit, but kind of dead. Eric Davis tracks it down. Even with his 99 speed, felt like he was never going to get to that ball. I'm using this Mauer card in events, and I'm wondering if I need to make him my actual starter. Because my catcher right now is... Oh, I just missed that one. Just getting another home run for Aparicio. I think I've already hit like 3 or 4 with him today. Yeah, because Bauer's batting 684. Who's my catcher? I've had really good power with him to left center field, even against lefties. For some reason, people keep throwing that curveball to Wainwright. I wonder if it's because didn't he have a primary curveball for a while? Or his whole career? I don't know. A little bit low. Not going to be a home run. I wonder if subconsciously people just throw the curveball to that man because it's his pitch. This one's got to be off the plate. He's batting 0. No hits for Aparicio, but he's batting him 4th, so like the brain is there for sure. They know what's up. By the way, guys, this is going to be a shorter stream because I got work to do for work. Work for work. So I got to do more before I go to bed, unfortunately. So I'll probably stream for a couple hours. So I'll go till 8:30 my time. I probably would have skipped stream, except I won't be streaming next week. I'll be out of town. Oh, no lefties in this pen. Yeah, basically, well, that's the first time I haven't hung a sinker from Chapman, like right down the middle. But he basically cannot locate anything else. And now we got to face the righty as the go-ahead run. Mazeroski. I've had a pretty good run with Mazeroski, too. He hits the low and away pitch really well. We've just never been able to use a Mazeroski because of how bad his cards always are. This card still doesn't have like good defense or good speed, but the dude can hit. There you go, double play ball. Exactly what we wanted. Just throw it a little bit off the spot that he can hit really well. Off the low and away corner. Just like that. I don't know if anybody played during this time, but there was a year where I want to say it was like 2015 or something like that. It was somewhere around that time. And there was a live series Michael Kadire card who was like a top 3 card in the game, like live series card. I think it was with the Mets. Because I don't think he was with the Rockies at the time, even though he hit really well with the Rockies. Maybe it was like he went from the Rockies to the Mets or something, but there was like kind of no reason at the time for him to be that good. But he was just crazy. Some people might remember in like 2017 or something, where they randomly gave live series Franklin Gutierrez like insane numbers. I don't know if it was glitched or what. He had been coming off like injuries and stuff, so I don't know if it was his 3-year average kind of working for him in that case. But yeah, Franklin Gutierrez 1 year. He was like a bronze or silver live series card for some reason, but he had just like 99 power for no reason. Interestingly drawn Spider-Man. Yeah, the Spooderman. We got the Spooderman squad. Ooh, he's going first with it, making the play. Got up quickly and threw it. All right. I think I ended up not scoring at all in that inning. It was feeling pretty good. Let's close this one with a Rob Dibble. Also has 7 walks per 9. So these guys are just not aiming where they're throwing it. They're just closing their eyes and letting it go. Alex Gordon has always had a good swing in this game, too. He's one of those guys with a 70 power card, plays like 90 power. And now that he's got 101 power. Oh, yeah, is this a Royals card, too? Maybe this was the 4th Royal. I'm going to have to go look at the inventory after this. I mean, that's exactly where I wanted that pitch. This is the 95 Trout. Maybe I should have put him in my lineup. He is so skinny. Was Trout ever that skinny? I don't think so. Pretty sure Trout was always a thick dude with his football background. Aparicio, another home run for the man. Let it off with a homer. And we win in 3 innings. Finally finished this Speedway Classic, and I don't think I've done any. I have not looked at program at all intentionally, so just got that one done after grinding a long time, I guess. I'll be right back in 3 minutes. We'll play some more events. A lot of 99 worthy players still not here yet. You're probably right. Who are you thinking of though? I haven't really thought about it. Talking especially flashbacks or a lot of legends. Aaron Judge hits home run number 50. His fourth 50 home run season. That's crazy. Also, I don't think Cal Raleigh's getting to 60, is he? Oh, he did it against the White Sox. I forgot they were playing. Cool. See the Mariners players. Raleigh got 58. I mean, he definitely could have a 2-homer game before the end of the season. But by the All-Star break, it kind of looked like it was going to be a foregone conclusion. He's at 58. Legends, but some flashbacks too. Flashbacks make sense for like, I don't know. Do you feel like they still save cards for finest if a finest looks like it's going to be again a foregone conclusion? They're like, okay, this team only has one good player. Obviously, it's going to be this guy. We're not going to give him a 99. I feel like they definitely used to do that. I don't know if they still do it now that they're just kind of giving out 99s left and right. Wow, what a foul ball. Against the Rockies, no less. It was nice that you could do it against them because I think the home run went like 480 something. Oh, you're saying Raleigh's at 58 against the Rockies? Yeah, that'll be nice. Well, that's a good opportunity right there. Ends up as a walk. Chandler Simpson. Are we going to be seeing a bunt? Not on the first pitch. Ooh, Alex Gordon can make that play. Another Skeens card. And it'll be the Skeens 25. That one for sure. I think we still got to see a Skeens and a. Have we seen the Gunner or the Alley? Have they both got 99s? I think the Gunner got his 99 already for his takeover. The sequel to Smoltz 20, yeah. That was so funny. It was such a random, not random, obviously, it's really good, but it was Smoltz. Not only was it Smoltz, but it was like the whole Braves org that year got a ton of cards, right? Well, I think because they had like Maddox and Glavin. All right, let's see what kind of arm Adam Wainwright has. Does he throw a curveball to home plate? 99 speed, but he left late. Got him. Nice. That guy doesn't know the strat. You got to leave like a half second early. Otherwise, you get stuck in an animation. MLB The Schwarber 23. How many Schwarber cards did you get? I probably could have made it to second there. Kind of fell off into the gap for a second. This guy throws kind of funky. But does he throw well? No. No. Not at all. Am I batting over with Wainwright? I feel like I keep hitting hard balls right at people. Another perfect. This one's going to be over the head. Off the bat, that looked like an out. At least 3 different 99 Schwarbers in 23. Yeah, 23 was sets and seasons, right? So that would make sense. If there was going to be a year for that to happen, 23 makes a lot of sense. MLB really stood for Marte League Baseball because there's also 399 overall Ketel Martes. That's crazy. A good Ketel Marte card. You just can't beat it. It's nice to play on the monitor again because I've been playing on the TV for this whole Moonshot event. So now I can actually time up pitches. Here, Dave's betting 500. Ooh, 100 off the bat, and it's gone. I was going to say I was just late on it, but still pulled it. Probably didn't pull it as much as the game wanted me to for a home run, but we beat the RNG on that one. Five runs in the first and a line out to end it. And we continue on. Detroit versus Chicago matchup here. The last one of these I saw did not end up well for Chicago, specifically the Bears. Ooh, just missed it. We're definitely at the point of the year where it's like I have too many cards. Too many cards that I'm willing to use as endgame cards. But they're still sprinkling in the odd Mike Trouts. So you still feel like you want to kind of grind for him a little bit. I think I might get him after this game, depending on who has hit home runs for me, because I think I needed 10 home runs with outfielders. That was my last mission that I needed to do. I had 4 coming into today. I know I hit a couple. We got one with Kadire in this game, so we're probably getting close, if not already hit the 10. The drop program's nice though, because like there's a lot of ways to get them. I think there's like, it's something crazy like 80 points available, and you only need to get 50. So there's a few different ways to acquire the card. People really be running on this Mauer card. Two walks in the game. Both of them have been out on the bases. We still playing? We're still playing. Don't tell Jackie there's a 99 overall DH Arrieta card. Oh no. La polizia. And no runs that inning after 5 in the first. Guess we're just trying to get out of this one quickly. That's where someone who hasn't got a hit all game ends up scoring 7. And then we have to grind it out in the bottom of the third. I was hoping they would dive to first. Get themselves out. Let's try the circle change. Got to play it first here. Well, probably could have tried second and just got the force. Probably the smarter move, but it was going to be close at second. You never know what kind of animation you're going to get. Sometimes you can tell, like, the game thought that you would just go to first base so you don't get a good throw to second animation, even though, like, a normal animation would have got him because the game thought you weren't going to go. Now you definitely can't get him. Sometimes that happens. That happened, I think, a lot more in previous games. I don't know if it still does. I feel like it happens a lot on, like, cutoff plays. Kadire, 99 speed, but a good throw. Still going to be safe at first. It was one of those spins at third where he spun like right into the throw, so he didn't really lose any time. But he's not like, I don't think he has that great reactions and stuff at third, so. Wasn't as fast as it could have been. Player of the game is Joe Mauer with the home run. But I think Kadire had a homer in this one, so let me see if we got any progress to Trout. Trout, we got 2. Okay, so I started with 4. I only got 2 in this game only. So we still have 4 more to get. We have Wainwright in the outfield, so he doesn't count anyway. But we have, who's my DH? I forget, but I think he's an outfielder. DH is Arrieta, no. So I do have Kadire at third. So I have Eric Davis, Kadire, and Alex Gordon. Those are my 3 guys I need to hit homers with. But who hits home runs instead? Luis Aparicio. Somehow his batting average has gone up today to 524. To 530 something. Your DH is a pitcher not known for hitting at all. True. The only DH The only time Arrieta hits a home run is against me when Jackie controls him. I think he had like a multi-homer game against me with Arrieta or something. He definitely hit a 3-run homer against me. That one's going to go. Wainwright gets good backspin on his swings. Now we get to the part of the lineup where I have my outfielders, but that's where like the opposing pitcher starts adjusting. Like, okay, I already gave up 2, gave up on a changeup, gave up on a fastball. Only thing I can try now is to throw like off speed out of the zone, and then I still chase it. The last pitcher I hit a home run with in 22, if I was to guess, I would say Chris Sale probably. He had a good swing. He had like no like offensive numbers. Like he was 0 contact, 0 power. But I would hit home runs like kind of often with him. Is Area too good for the Hall of Pretty Good? Do you think there's a in between? In between Hall of Fame and Hall of Pretty Good? Would you consider a Hall of Very Good? Is that what we're talking about? I hadn't considered that there was a purgatory in between. Let me say that first. I kind of, in my head, it was just, if you're not good enough for the Hall of Fame, then the next year is Hall of Pretty Good. If there was a guy who I think would fit in there, it would be Burley. I feel like a lot of people don't consider him to be a Hall of Fame pitcher. I think a no-hitter in a perfect game should propel him into Hall of Fame status. And I think Arrieta had 1 no-hitter. What if the Hall of Fame is wrong, not in this instance? Corbin Burns off 2-run hater? Nice. We love beating up on 2-run hater. What if the Hall of Fame is wrong? As in, like Kenny Lofton should be Hall of Fame, so I don't want him in the Hall of Pretty Good. Valid. The snubs. Should there be a snubs class? But then I'm kind of wondering, like, does that mean there's 2 tiers in between? Because are we saying that Kenny Lofton and Arrieta belong in the same tier in that case? That would be my next question. Well, what do we have here? It's an egg. The worst is being too good for the Hall of Pretty Good, but not enough for the Hall of Fame. So would you agree, Greg, that there is an in-betweener? The Hall of Very Good or the snub class? There we go. I've been trying to earn that grounder. Hit a couple CNI singles. Arrieta belongs wherever Oral is. Hall of Great. Hall of Great could be the one. Events food? Hello, Diablo. I missed that. Dang. How you doing, sir? Good to see you. Yeah, we're playing some events. We got kind of a moonshot thing going on. They've expanded moonshot to be any batters. The previous event was moonshot batters only, but it's still common pitchers. I feel like Hall of Great is the same as Hall of Fame. I will say I think the Hall of Fame is too tight with their entries. Like, I feel like there should be a lot more players in the Hall of Fame. And because of that, I would say, if we're looking at the reality of it, and that there are a lot of snubs that you could argue. I think Hall of Great is completely valid because I think there are an enormous number of great players who are not in the Hall of Fame. That I would say probably should be in, but many people would argue it should not be in. Skeens finished the season 1.98 ERA and 216 strikeouts. We were just talking about Skeens. Greg says that this is MLB the Skeens 25. Andrew Jones Hall of Great. Funny, something the Hall of Fame is becoming too loose with his voting. I have heard that for sure. I completely disagree, just based off of numbers alone. And then you look at the kind of statistics where so few players do a certain thing. I think I posted about this a couple of years ago. Things that I think like automatically should make you a Hall of Famer. And Trout just hit his 400th home run, right? And you look at how few players have ever hit 400 home runs. It's kind of crazy. And on top of that, I think there are 500 home run hitters that are not in the Hall of Fame. Is that correct? And I've talked about this before. I remember like seeing someone talk about Jim Thome hitting his 600th home run, and someone was like asking if Jim Thome would be a Hall of Famer, and they're like, no, he just hits a lot of home runs. He's not that good, or something like that. Something dumb like that. And so even then they were questioning after 600 home runs, should that guy be a Hall of Famer? So I've definitely heard the argument that it's becoming too loose. And there are like silly things like Harold Baines, etc. There's like definitely some inconsistencies. But overall, I wouldn't say that for sure. Get down. Andrew was 100% Hall of Fame. Harold Baines, yeah, exactly. And then there's Hall of Steroids. Yep. If a 500 home run hitter is not in the Hall of Fame, it's because of the steroid scandal. Is that the only reason? I haven't looked at the list of who's who on it. If that's the case, then that's fine. I can understand that. I still do think that steroid users should be in the Hall of Fame. I still think they're cheaters. Like, I still think it's cheating, and they should be punished for it, but I don't think the Hall of Fame is the place to draw the line. My stance has always been, if they never got kicked out of the league for steroids, if they got to retire on their own accord, and they got punished for steroids, but then they were allowed to be back in the league, I think they should still be in the Hall of Fame. Dude's a real deal. Actually, 196. Ooh. I wasn't sold when you said 198, but if it's 196, that's for real. Yeah, Skeens is crazy. Especially like doing that in your sophomore year. Rookies, I'm not saying it's easy to do as a rookie, but you have a slight advantage as a rookie versus a sophomore just being unknown, less scouted. And I think the sophomore slump is real just purely because of league adjustments. So to come back and do that in your sophomore year is actually crazy. Was suspected of steroid use. Okay. That's fair then. But even then, like, such a small number of players hitting 400 or 40 home runs. Oh, one other thing I'll say about Hall of Fame is that I don't like when wins above replacement plays a factor. I think WAR is great for like MVP races and individual seasons, because he was the most productive. I think it's great for like salary negotiations and things like that. I don't think it's good. I don't think it's a good talking point when it comes to Hall of Fame voting. Mostly not because of accumulating a lot of WAR. I think accumulating a lot of WAR, you should get value from that. and people with a high wins above replacement should be regarded highly in the Hall of Fame. But I think people use it a lot to discredit players who did something special in their career. He avoided the sophomore slump, which is really tough to do. Isn't Tommy not in the Hall? Is he not? I'm pretty sure he is. I'm almost positive. But yeah, I think people use like, oh, this guy didn't accumulate enough wins above replacement in his career, therefore he shouldn't be a Hall of Famer. And I don't like that. Actually, Aparicio was one of the guys that Foolish Baseball talked about, right? Aparicio and like Andrelton Simmons was in that like one of the videos, and that was the conversation they were having. Less about the wins above replacement, maybe, but definitely about like how good they were defensively and how that should have been Hall of Fame worthy. Hall of Pretty Good is Ben Zobrist. I could see it. The real guarantee on that one is the fact that he was like a utility man too. So that's like quintessential Hall of very good. Good player, but can play everywhere. But yeah, I think there's guys who just like if Billy Hamilton had done a little bit more in his career, if Chandler Simpson hits like 230 his whole career, and let's say just for the sake of argument, let's say Chandler Simpson's a horrible defender, but he ends up being like third all time in steals, and he's like a 10 WAR player for his career because he was like bad at getting on base and bad at defense, but when he got on base, he would get around and he would score because he would steal. Let's say that would happen. I still think he should be a Hall of Famer for that. And I don't think wins above replacement should come into that conversation. I hate the WAR stat. I'm convinced it was made up by some nerdy loser just to be a killjoy and try to gaslight you into your favorite player growing. Actually wasn't that good. Brad Lidge is Hall of Great. Despite the Pujols. Borderline pretty good. I feel like the first pitch to Aparicio, I always kill it. The one thing I hate about statistics, I've talked about this. Well, I haven't talked about this in a while, but I have talked about it. I feel like a lot of these numbers are great for the conversations behind the scenes. Like, you need to be having these conversations as an organization. I think in order to get good baseball teams, especially in the reality that like a lot of owners don't spend money, just Aparicio is crazy. And you're trying to moneyball it because your owner's just not giving you enough money to work with. You have to have those kind of conversations, and that's great. But then when it gets dumped out as like the featured stats in a baseball game, I think you kind of lose the plot. Because people will still be excited about home runs and RBIs and all this kind of stuff, and people will tell you like, oh, those don't matter. Hits don't matter. Average doesn't matter. But those are still part of the fun. And as a fan, you still want baseball to be fun. So I don't think it's really up to anybody to tell another fan, like, don't enjoy this stat. So that's where I get annoyed. So I'm with you, Greg. In the sense that like, oh, why are you showing like a batting average? Because I think they kind of won a little bit, right? I think a lot of places will now start showing like these advanced metric stats instead of batting average, but it's just a little less fun to some people. And I think fun is valid. Hot take. Like the Batman game. Actually, his WAR was only don't finish sentence, do just slap. Yeah. Batman meme. I hate the stats, the award stats being on the resume. Like some idiot doesn't give Dave Steve a Cy Young, and somehow that means he doesn't look as good for the Hall of Fame. Also true. Yeah. Very valid. Give Jeter 5 gold gloves. I don't mind if they use them in their favor, but I do hate when it is used against them, like you said about Steve. So I agree. If you're going to say, like, I don't know. I guess if you're talking like GOAT conversation is where that stuff I feel like comes in a little bit more. So if you're saying Derek Jeter deserves to be the GOAT because he had 5 gold gloves, however many silver sluggers, MVPs, whatever. I feel like that comes up more in that conversation, which is when you have to dissect it a little bit more. But yeah, Hall of Fame, I don't mind if you throw that in there. I think Hall of Fame is just abstract enough. I think that's kind of what I'm getting at. So I think the Hall of Fame should be and is abstract enough that some of these should be a little bit more lenient just for the variety. That's all. That's a legend I wouldn't mind seeing again. Hall of Fame should be best of your era. The story of the sport can't be told without you. I agree with that too. In general, do you feel like, other than steroids, do you not feel like that's been overall the case? Apart from, some snubs here and there. I don't know the context, I guess, enough of like who's in versus who's not in versus what was the vibe when they were playing. So I guess I couldn't really speak to that specifically, but that's another reason why I don't mind the steroid group being in. There's a lot of stuff that's just like a little bit relative. Some snubs, but also where I'm saying at some point in the steroid era, the home runs were an all auto Hall of Fame ticket. Gotcha. Ooh. And I do think I think eventually this stuff does turn, because I think there's like unwritten rules of like, what you need to have, kind of what we were talking about, wins above replacement. I think people try to feed that a little bit, but it was kind of an in-between time where wins and stuff like that were starting to fall off. They're like, okay, we can't use wins anymore. We can't use complete games. We can't use like innings pitched, all these numbers anymore, because of like pitchers just don't pitch that long into games anymore. So we kind of have to change. So they're kind of like, oh, let's use wins above replacement. I don't remember where I was going with that, but I feel like sometimes those kind of things are slow to catch on when it comes to the Hall of Fame voters, especially because they're like all old writers and stuff like that. They're maybe not adjusting their standards at the same rate that like the players are changing how they play. Oh no. Does he not even have a sinker? I'll be sad if he doesn't have a sinker because I keep looking sinker. One thing that'll be interesting is like when you talk about relative, he does have a sinker. When you talk about like relative stats like that, I wonder if a guy like Luis Arias will become a Hall of Famer. Let's say, like, in his career, let's say that Luis Arias ends up being the guy with the highest batting average of an entire decade or something like that. But I don't think he does like a ton of anything else really well. He has a high batting average. So he's the best in a category that has historically been important. But now players don't really find it that important to chase. But he's the best at it, but he's also the worst of the best, because I think like the batting title this year is going to be like the lowest batting average that we've ever seen or something like that for the winner. So like everybody's doing worse, but then there's the best of the worst, but then nobody cares. So like, is it really a stat that people want being Hall of Fame worthy? So I think those conversations are going to get interesting too. Rise is going to get the Tony Gwynn comp, and that's a misrepresentation of his game. How so? Also, is there a Moonshot Tony Gwynn card? I think there is. I think I faced him yesterday. It was a Tony Gwynn with like 100 power or something. This is not a good pitch. Getting away with it. Wainwright's not quite fast enough for that. I knew he wasn't getting it to it because the runners already started leaving. Same as that play right there. Gonna give up the lead here with a triple. Wainwright's feet were stuck in the mud. Unfortunately, he's not very fast out there. Speaking of players we still don't have a 99 of, Gwynn was a better base runner and defender. Rise just hits. There is Moonshots Gwynn. Blue throw would have got him. Dropped the baseball. No outs on the play. Blue throw does get him there. Yeah, I hear you. Yeah. But it'll be funny, kind of funny if he's like, if he ends up being the best batting average hitter of this decade. But like nobody cares about batting average anymore. That'll be kind of interesting. Because it's like, well, if other people did care about batting average, maybe he wouldn't have been in first place. So I feel like there's a lot of arguments you can make in both directions there. Get off the wall, please. Thank you. Gordon's been doing a lot of that. He kind of just turns on that low and in pitch, but not really elevating it so far. '99 Brock, seen a Lou Brock truther, been a Lou Brock truther since 20. Yeah, he had some great, not cards necessarily, but the cards really played up. Is there a Moonshot Brock? There's a Moonshot Joe Morgan. I think that's what I'm thinking of. Get up, ball. He got there. All right, we lose that one. Blow it in the third. Rise ends his career like 310 to 330 with 3,000. He has to make it, which yes would be funny. Also similar to the Simpson example that you made. Yeah, personally, like I would vote for him. Ooh, Mike Moustakas. Personally, in that situation, I would vote for him. Fitting since his number was 20. Can't do anything but this one thing at an elite level. Yep. Let me grab a water real quick while this game loads. We are batting 459 as a team. I like that. Moonshot Brock is a thing. Is Brock the one who always gets like low reaction time or something? Or like he gets good reaction but low fielding or something like that? Another great swing from Aloy. No speed, no defense, no power. Maybe, but not a guy who consistently gets hits is a guy you want in the lineup somewhere. I agree. My thing is always like there's a lot of these stats. You can talk about RBIs, you can talk about hits, batting average. These are the ones that like sabermetrics don't really favor. And so people will say batting average doesn't matter. And I had this conversation a lot when like Tim Anderson was good. And my argument is always that a low batting average doesn't mean they're bad. Or, yeah, a low batting average doesn't mean they're bad, or high RBI number doesn't mean they're good. But I think it still means something. And like you said, I think it's still a winning characteristic. Somebody's got to get the hits eventually for your team. In my opinion. That's a home run just late from Alex Gordon. All right. 99 postseason series card for what he did in 1967. Retro finest. What about retro postseason? Yeah. Maybe that'll show up in postseason past, in the past postseason past program. That would make sense to me. Yeah, I think guys that like have a high batting average, again, like Chandler. Well, I don't think Chandler Simpson does, but like Luis Rise, I think they're definitely guys you want on your team. They might not show. It might not translate into wins above replacement or whatever, but I think those are the kind of people who you have on your team. Your expected wins is a certain number, but all of a sudden in close games, like you have a really high winning percentage, and you're like, how did this team make the playoffs with not as talented of a team? And then those are kind of the guys you find on that team, I think. You know what's funny is one of the couple of the things that we've never really talked about when it comes to like the White Sox collapsing in the last couple of years. One is I think the pitch clock played into it because they had a couple of guys who were like a couple of the like slowest workers, and I don't think they looked good after the pitch clock And I think some of the hitters were off tempo as well. Small part of it. But one thing is Nick Madrigal. When the White Sox were good, they always had Nick Madrigal in like the 9 spot. And he would just get these little singles up the middle, bat like 300. And you could always count on him like having a good at bat for you at the bottom of the order. And then the lineup would flip over. You had Tim Anderson being good too, all these other factors, but once Nick Madrigal like got injured and eventually traded, it felt like they could never consistently get people on base, just in general. Someone once asked if you would rather have 9 Ichiro Suzukis or 9 Adam Dunns in your lineup. And I said, do you really want 9 of the exact same type of hitter? I agree. That is a good question. That being said, I feel like I would say no, but for the sake of the question, say no, I probably wouldn't want all the same hitter. But for the sake of the question, I feel like the 9 Ichiros are going to be a lot less slumpy. And I feel like the math probably bears out that I don't know, he stole bases too, right? So I feel like he gets on base, he steals second base, next guy hits a single, and you drove the run in. As opposed to Adam Dunn, I feel like you're going to have some big innings. Like, I'm not even thinking about the power here. That's the thing. I don't even think the power plays too much. I think the big difference for me is like the on-base percentage. So obviously there's going to be a big discrepancy in batting average. But I think if their on-base percentages were anywhere close, I think I would want to take the Ichiros. Well, of course, if you're factoring in defense, but assuming it's just the lineups, if you're talking about scoring, I think the stolen bases probably cover the difference in power, to be honest. Sabermetrics discount the negative effect of strikeouts. I think it's very important for any player not to strike out. I think every team who won a chip in the past several years has been top 5 in least strikeouts. Yeah, I think Sabermetrics is all about trying to get to the postseason. You're trying to just like live and die on averages played out over the whole season. And you're trying to chip away at good pitchers and just beat the bad pitchers and stuff like that. Not very situational. And I think the biggest thing for me is like in the postseason, you're playing against the best players. So a lot of those numbers kind of go out the window. So whatever worked in the regular season doesn't necessarily apply. 9 Ichiro Suzuki's is death by 1,000 blue pits. 9 Ichiros would objectively be better, less outs, and the name of the game is to get less outs. I'm going to look it up, though. I feel like Adam Dunn in his prime, assuming in his prime, or if we're talking about the whole career, of course not. I don't think it would be close. But maybe Adam Dunn in his like prime 5 years or something. I just want to see what his on base is. I think that's where it matters. I think that's a conversation where like sabermetrics is valid. Batting average career was 237. On base percentage for his career in 14 years was 364. So very good compared to his batting average. 130 points higher. Which means in his best seasons, he was actually on base between 380 and 420. Oh, I could have made that play. I thought he was going to make it standing up, so I didn't dive. Gonna let him take that. 311 batting average. And his on base was 355. Okay, Diablo. Does that change your mind? Oh, big play. Keeping the tying run away from home plate. It's pretty close. 355 versus 367. When it comes to on base. Now I think that's where it gets really interesting in the conversation we just had about the point we just had about playoffs versus over the course of the whole season. I think on average you're going to have more boom or bust games with an Adam Dunn. I think in a playoff, I think in the playoffs, I think you win a World Series with a lineup of 9 Ichiros. And I don't think you win with Adam Dunn's. Over the course of the season, it's pretty close. But the home runs might just get it done. I feel like guys like Dunn, Schwarber, and Gallo had enough power that they didn't need to swing out of their heels and miss so many times. So you're talking about less about the numbers that they put on the field and more about who they were as players. You're saying they could have adjusted to be a different type of player if they wanted. I'll buy that too. I'll agree with that. In my head, I'm thinking more about on paper. With what they had. I still like Ichiro's over the Duns. Less strikeouts, maybe more errors and more action. That's true. He probably forced more errors. Adam Dunn, if you get on base, the only way to get him to the next base is a hit or a walk. And the hits are less than a quarter of the time. So you're not ever going first to third with Adam Dunn. Either the next walk pushes him to second base because he walked more than a third of the time, or he's going to homer him in. Skeens finishes the first player with an under 2 ERA since 2022. That's not that long ago. Okay. Getting close to the drought, but not there yet. Gallo thing forever obsessed me. He could have been, was so good. If he changed one thing, he could have been a 270 to 300 hitter, maybe. Yeah, I hate the thing about like not bunting. Like, oh, don't bunt because it takes away who you are as a player. But it's not like the bunt would have been there forever. You kind of make them make an adjustment. And if you are that good that you have to shift over that you're going to give up free bunts, or you're going to let him be a 400 hitter on bunts? A 400 hitter on bunts is better than the player he was. So why would you not bunt? So I always felt like that was a bad argument in favor of banning the shift. I still think that banning the shift is fine. I'm okay with it. But I don't like some of the arguments that were used. For individual players. Even Dunn, I seem to remember one year Washington he has something like 280 and hitting 40 home runs. Yeah, I think he had some good years like that for sure. That's why for a moment I was like, well, let me see what they did in their prime versus like their whole career. But that was more of the batting on base thing. I didn't think Dunn's on base was going to be 367 for his career. That's way higher than I thought it would be. But yeah, back to the first thing that I was thinking, oh, what was that? First thing I was thinking was maybe you just think about his like prime years. He had some really bad ones. He had hit like 160 with the White Sox one year. That was the year Alex Rios was really bad too. But Alex Rios didn't get on base like Adam Dunn did. So Adam Dunn still got on base enough for his batting average to not be completely useless. Then he came back and hit like 42 for the Sox the next year. Ooh, that was my pitch. I'm playing against Diplo. For some reason, this like mound, this dirt thing down the middle kind of makes it annoying to look for the ball. What a ballpark. I feel like I'm playing backyard baseball. And I do feel like people talk about OPS, right? On base plus slugging. I feel like slugging has way more to do with scoring your own run than it is to driving in runs. Even though like slugging, you're going to hit home runs as part of your slugging number, and that's going to allow you to drive yourself in, drive in whoever's also on base, of course. So I feel like that correlates a lot. A high slugging with a high RBI total. But like, I would rather have a guy who hits for a high batting average, batting third, with a slightly lower slug, and a guy with a lower batting average, lower on base percentage, but a higher slug, batting like fifth, sixth. Like I want frequency at the top, and I want quality, I guess you could say, towards the middle bottom. That's what I'm saying. I will never be convinced that guys that couldn't just focus on pulling the ball in play have a higher batting average and not lose any of the power numbers they had from all or nothing approach they took instead. I mostly agree. I feel like it's kind of a dumbing down. Like, yeah, they are thinking about like, yeah, this is the pitch I'm looking for. This is the one I want to hit. But there's no like ebb and flow, like dance, if you want to say, like back and forth. It's just like my best versus your best versus like I'm just trying to take advantage of this one little thing. It's not a multifaceted approach. And I can even like I can understand it for a lot of things. One thing I hate is the lack of a two-strike approach. Because people always say like, oh, getting a hit, whatever, doesn't change the math, or like the math still favors trying to get a home run with 2 outs rather than getting a hit with 2 outs. Something along those lines. And I dislike that a lot. I feel like that's probably oversimplified. I have a hard time believing that a 2-strike approach to get on base is less valuable than swinging for the fences. Disagree a bit. High slug doesn't equal high RBI to me. Trout has high slug only 3 years with 100. No, that's exactly what I'm saying, Diablo. I would rather have the high slug lower. And I think I don't know if I completed the thought, but my thought was I think a high slug correlates more to runs scored than it is to RBIs. Because I think it makes more sense to be, I've been disconnected. Well, there goes my event run. Unfortunate. We're toast. 7 home runs. I got time for like a couple more games. See the lineup he was in? That's why he never had 100 RBIs. But yeah, sorry, I don't think I ever completed the thought. But yeah, so I agree with you. I don't think it correlates. I think I did say that it correlates. I do think it correlates, but I don't think it's necessarily causal or always true. I think that's fair to say. Let's get Wainwright out. Should I try this Acuna card? Pujols had some years with 100 though. Well, he was hitting behind Trout though, because yeah, Trout. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I think if you get a guy who hits a double, then the next guy just has to hit a single and bring him in. Versus if a guy ahead of you hits a single, then you hit a double, kind of the same thing. But yeah, I don't know. But that's why also like I don't know. I feel like there's just more to the story is what I'm trying to say. I feel like that is the automatic assumption that is made is that when you're a high slugging guy, your main thing is that you should be a run producer. I think that's what I'm trying to get at. And I don't think that's true. I think that's the assumption that gets made, and I think the real value is getting the man into scoring position. Always turning on that first pitch. Aparicio gets great exit velo on that first pitch every time. Was it a check? Yeah, 1-1. There you go. Opposite field home run. He's just the man. He's actually crazy. I'm pretty sure he has out homered the rest of my team today. Crazy. And I've hit like a decent number of home runs today, but I'm pretty sure Aparicio has like half of my home runs today. Yeah, I think we'll see a correction. I think we've gone to an extreme. I think with data and all this kind of stuff, I think we've pushed it to the limit. And I think we are kind of seeing it walked back a little bit. I think that kind of stuff just swings on a pendulum a little bit. People try to squeeze out what they can from data, and then it gets corrected. Because I think it plays out, right? I think a lot of stuff it's just science, right? Science is just you find some patterns, then you apply a process to it, and then either it proves that it was true or it proves that some of it was true. And then you go back and say, hey, this is the data after we've done all this stuff. Why is some of this not happening that we thought it did? And I think that stuff then gets corrected. So I think we found the maximum of where sabermetrics does apply really well. And the next pendulum swing will kind of correct some of that. What pitching window to use? I use retro. Gives me a better look at pitches without kind of zooming in like this. I like to be able to see. It also gave me a better like look at the meter, so the meter wasn't zoomed up in my face too. It gives me a fresh look when I'm not batting. Aparicio, no. It's the first time in like 5 games, or he didn't hit a leadoff home run or something. Nolan Ryan still doesn't have 99. That's surprising. Knocked down. And plays made. This is the Acuna debut. 99 Acuna back when he was like one of 3 99s in the game or something. Now, not quite the case. There we go. Good take. Other than Wainwright, who's your number 199 overall that you're still waiting for, Greg? Exciting. Walks per 9 to 69. Nice. But also, I was just thinking about Chapman and Dibble, who have 7 walks per 9. It's a good look for Ken Griffey Jr. right here. I have that shirt, actually. Or I had that shirt. I think I just got rid of it. Yes, Jackie. I'll hit a home run with him for you in this game, though. I don't know if I've homered with Arrieta yet today. Lack of a horizontal pitch takes away any appeal. Yeah. I've had a couple of years where I pitched pretty well with Nolan Ryan cards, but this year you really need a horizontal pitch. No, I mean you always have had needed one, but there were a couple of years, like depending on when the card comes out. Sometimes it's early enough in the year that outlier fastball and a sinker can carry you. As long as you know how to work up and down in the zone. But yeah, late in the game you gotta have a horizontal. Yeah, of course. Gordon's got a real quick swing. I was actually trying to take that ball up the middle. Still managed to pull it. Just missed that one. Did he ever have a slider? I guess not, because if he did ever have a slider, I feel like we definitely would have seen one by now. He's been in the game for long enough. The real kicker, did he get a cutter one year? I feel like there's definitely been some cards where he got like 5 pitches. But the real like nice thing is when a Nolan Ryan card doesn't get like 60 walks per 9. It's really exciting when he gets like 80 plus. Just underneath that one. And I guess a little late. High slider though. Should have got that. 99 feller. Got fellas, but only one feller. Yeah. And we have had some decent feller cards with like sliders. So I think the low diamonds that we usually get at the beginning of the year doesn't have a slider, but then get some better ones later. But I think he just like doesn't have a good pitch release or something. I feel like every year feller cards like a little bit disappointing. and how they play. Nice play by Acuna. He's got no fielding ability. He has a big arm, but his fielding is like 60s. Fielding and reaction. Low control. That'll do it. I think I still don't have a good feel for the difference between control and like walks per nine. Because I always pay attention to walks per nine for the like par region. Because that's the biggest factor for the par region. And then I never really look at control. So I think that's like an average of like the actual control of individual pitches. But for some reason, I never look at it. $110, $100, but high vision for this Hosmer. So interesting when Royals players leave. And you think that the Royals ballpark is hard to hit. Definitely for power hitters. But then they leave Kaufman, and then all of a sudden they can't hit anymore. There you go, Jackie. I told you. Couldn't score, but then Jake Arrieta comes in, does his job. That's for you, Jackie. Hit me in the back leg, but I swung. Just got a little piece of that one. Tell the Blue Jays how to score. Yeah, I got you. No problem. Hopefully the White Sox can play a little spoiler for you guys. But they gave up the walk-off to the Yankees yesterday, and they are losing right now, 5-1. So I don't know. You guys might be toast. Might be over for you lads. Do you ever use La Grassa offline? Who is La Grassa? And what is offline? I think the only offline gaming I've played has been Moments. It's Jover now that we've made the playoffs. Oh, Custom Stadium? I've never heard of it. And I've basically not, I've played like a couple of offline games this year. The only offline I've been doing has been Moments. What do you think? You got, was it like 5 games left? Think you'll hold on to the number 1 seed? Probably lose the first series at this point. Do all 3? It's just the top 2 division winners get a bye, right? Is that how it works? Speaking of Jover, Rip Walmets on Soto 40-40 season. Let's go. What looking in the most will say, sweet and merciful Jesus, what is this? Is that the one with like the little boxes up the middle? Juan Soto card with 99 speed? Surely his 40-40 doesn't equal stolen bases, would it? Remember that one season where he like switched to right field finally or something, and then he had like an above average, like a Gold Glove defensive season or something, and then he was never good again? Yeah, that. Oh, okay. I've seen it like in a couple of videos, But yeah, I've never used it. Keeps him at first base. Smart move. He could sense Alex Gordon was out there in left field. 14th percentile speed amongst the other players with 30 stolen bases. He has reached 93rd percentile. Does that mean he's just lazy? What does that mean? Soto finest card? Does that mean he just should have a low base running aggressive stat? That'd be interesting. I forget. Does base running aggressiveness do anything in online play? It would be funny if that stat kind of like gave your speed RNG to where like you don't know if he's gonna run hard to first base or something like that. I would hate that. To be clear, I would hate that if that was the case. But it would be kind of funny. Like if Soto had 93 speed, but then his base running aggressiveness was like 0. So you only get that like once every 60 games. It's been your first day after being 24 watching the quintessential LOL Mets game. No way. Aparicio making multiple outs in a row. It means he woke up in the morning and decided to be fast. Yeah, true. I don't know. I don't even feel like it was that morning. I feel like he just decided in the spur of the moment. He's like, what if I just try for a minute? People were asking if Soto was a bust after the first month of the season. Also, I think the White Sox went like 8-1 a few weeks ago, and now they're 1-9 in their last 10 games. So now they're just continuing to do White Sox stuff. Imagine if that morning that he got 93rd percentile was just like he accidentally double dosed on pre workout before the game or something. He forgot he took it already and then he took another one. What an absolute dot of a curveball. Here's Nicky the Swish. Pitch taken. So you got to play a second here. We might. Oh, got him. Nice. They were smart not to run on Alex Gordon in the first inning, but this was a bang bang play. If it wasn't a blue throw and perfectly played off the wall, would have been safe. Also, if he had literally one more speed, probably would have been safe as well. And racking up the double play there. So big throw keeps it a 0-0 game pretty much. Please get the gap. He's playing pretty deep out there. Not enough gap. I hate when I stand up to do something because, especially when I'm like playing well, because whenever I sit back down, I find myself landing in a different spot. And you saw like the last couple of games, I didn't really hit well. And I think I was sitting like a couple inches too close to my monitor, which I feel like makes a difference for me. And I guarantee you I will score 5 runs before the end of this game. So I just moved back. I moved back a few inches, so now I'm feeling confident. Real confident. Never strike out again in my life. I can't even score 5 unless I hit a grand slam and give up at least 1 run here. So let's see the odds of that happening. Jarvis, I probably should take him out because I already got 2 hits against him. That's a disgusting pitch. Called a ball. I do have Soler on the bench. See if anybody comes up that I can't hit with. I'll go with Bradley. Tim Raines should have been a White Sox. Unfortunato. Needed him for the squad. Still a ways away from finest cards, but hopefully we get some finest White Sox in this next program. Postseason cards. Postseason past. It's hard though because there's so few White Sox postseasons. It's kind of tough. All right, Eric Hosmer, let's go ahead and pinch hit. Let's go Soler. Against Mr. 2-run hater himself. I feel like a moonshot hater should automatically be like 4 runs, right? Postseason Jose Contreras, that would be sick. Yeah, imagine if we got like the whole pitching staff. A program with the 4 guys who went complete games. Just early? That's tough. And even Aparicio can't do it. Dang. Got some hittable pitches. Just missed him by a little bit. There goes my well, I guess if they score 1, maybe I can score 5. Soler. We're just gonna go ahead and put, I think, a Delgado in. Marte, Murphy, Trout. That is going to be Bryce Turang. Delgado. I put you in the game for a reason. And it was that reason, but you didn't make the reason reason. Please. Please make a play. I feel like I keep getting my double play ball, but it ain't working. I wonder if he swung at that pitch. Real slow turn there. Kipnis has not been good at second base. His defense is like not that bad on paper. It's not great. It's not that bad. Not as bad as he's showing. I'm actually going to take him out right now. Let's go Dibble. There we go. Needed to strike one. From there, you got a lot of options. Strike two. Don't hang it. That's fine. That's perfectly fine. Good take. Exactly where we wanted that ball. All right, Acuna versus 97 speed. Blue throw. Easy pickings if he decides to go, but smart move. We've already got a few base runner throw outs in this game. We're not going to test it here. That would have been the pitch to swing at. It's the only pitch to hit you're going to get. In this game, that slider is probably hittable too, but didn't swing. And if you're looking for it, that's hittable. But pop out. Base is loaded. We got the one run on allowed, which means I still have an opportunity to score 5 here. I score the one, get the bases loaded, walk off home run, walk off grand slam. In the meantime, got to play situational, hit the ball at second base. I will say this is my worst situation. Less than 2 outs, runner on third. I do not perform well here, so we're going to take pitches. I just need to take one pitch. That's what I meant. Just one pitch is what I needed to do. Okay, let's see if that gives us enough homers for Mike Trout. I feel like I'm still one short at least. Daniel Murphy card. Where's Trouty? 8 out of 10, so I still need 2 more. Well, we're making our way through the X program. And another 5K card, which I have 2 of. Randall Glitchick. All right, GG's friends. It's going to be a short stream, like I said today, because I got to get back to work. So I'm going to be out next week. No stream next week, guys. Keep that in mind. But we will be back one day. Just not yet. Good thing I found some food, and that food is running away. Sorry, Matt. Good to see you, though. Hope all's good. Hope all's good. Unfortunately, we are hopping off. Too busy to be here earlier? No worries, man. And I'm too busy to be here late. I gotta go work. I'm not looking forward to it. Gotta finish what I can before trip next week, so I won't be here. All right, guys. We're gonna head over for a raid. I will see you guys in 2 weeks. Hopefully, keep an eye out for Discord. Other than that, hope you had a great time. Have a good night. Peace.